What's going on, my fellow producers? I'm Young Kartz. Today we are going to be making a simple Playboi Carti type beat in FL Studio. Before we get started, I want you guys to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and that notification bell. And also, if you are interested, you can check out my Halo loop kit, which is in the description below. It's all for $19.99 and it's full of godly melodic sounds. Alright, let's get into it. Here we are in the studio. The first thing that you guys are going to want to do is you guys are going to want to find a crazy simple loop or a crazy simple sample that kind of has a nostalgia laid back feel to it. So what I found is in KBZ's 50K loop kit, I found this sample called Money Made Me. Okay, so this is the sample. It's at 149 BPM, as you can see there. We're going to turn our BPM up to 149. And I'm just going to play the sample for you guys real quick. Alright, so that's the sample for you guys. I just went ahead and put that on mixer insert 1. We'll worry about mixing later. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add drums on top of the beat, because the sample is pretty much going to be carrying the drums. So we actually don't need to make super crazy complex drums. In fact, they can be really simple and really easygoing to make. So we're going to go into KBZ Trap Galaxy Volume 2 kit, go into claps. We're going to go to clap loud. All right. We're just going to add in our claps here. All right. Control A, Control B until we get to our 9th bar there. Hold Control A, or hit Control A, hold Alt, scroll up on your mouse wheel, and now you got some loud claps. Alright, we need to put a pattern here so we can actually listen to it. Alright, so I just assigned the claps to insert number 2. Now we're going to find some hats, some hi-hats. Alright, I like the lit hi-hats, so we're going to fill each by 2 steps. Set this to insert 3. We'll turn this down a little bit. Go into our piano roll. We're going to add some fast 3rd step rolls. Alright, so that's all we need for the hi-hat, so we'll go ahead and delete that hi-hat pattern there. From the 5th bar to the 9th bar, we'll go ahead and select these hi-hats. Shift and hold shift and move your mouse to the right to drag it over, and that just basically makes a copy. Make sure it's all lined up. Control A, Alt R, we're going to add some randomizer effects. Velocity set to 15% to give it a little bit more of a bounce. You can kind of see the wave effect that the velocities have here. It's just going to sound more wavy, more bouncy. Reset before processing off, bipolar off, accept, and now we can hit Control Alt, hold Alt, or Control A, hold Alt, move the mouse wheel, scroll wheel up, and now we got some crazy hi-hats. Pretty cool. Now we can go ahead and add an 808. We're going to use the new Zay 808 made by KBZ. It's a little bit harder. It's a little bit beefier. So that's the old Zay. This is the new Zay. Yeah. Harder and beefier. I like it. We're going to set this to insert number 4. Cut itself. And we're going to go ahead and start making our 808 pattern in the higher octaves, because we want to kind of get an idea of where our root note is. By doing that, it's easier for us to locate those root notes because we don't have the ghost notes, because this is just a sample. So this is how we kind of have to find the root notes, and yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so I think this is good. what I can do is I can bring the 808s down a couple of octaves, and now the 808 is going to sound insane and in tune. Alright, pretty cool. What we're going to do now is we're going to start mixing the beat. So we're going to go into our master track, go into Fruity Soft Clipper, and we got our soft clipper right here, set up just like that. So it prevents the beat from clipping, and so I can mix it the way, you know, that I want to mix it. Alright, so now that we add the soft clipper on, this is what it sounds like. Sounds pretty crazy. So we got all of our sounds right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to select our first sound in the channel rack. Hold Control. Click on that first sound again, and it will select all of your channels in your channel rack. Press F9. Select your first insert. Hit Control Shift L, and you got all of your sounds in the mixer tracks. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start off with our. Actually, first things first. We need to mix, all right? So let's listen for anything that sounds odd or off. All right, so the 808 does sound a little bit muddy, and that's all because of the sample that we're using. There's a little bit of low-end frequencies on our sample. So we're gonna click on our sample in the mixer track here, go to slot 1, parametric EQ, and we're just gonna kind of tune out those low frequencies. Notice how the 808 is getting harder as I'm doing that. All right, let me show you. We can also turn up the mid-high frequencies just to kind of bring the volumes back up for the sample. So now you can probably tell that the 808 is a lot more noticeable now. It's not kind of like washed out anymore. It sounds really, really good. All right, so now that we fixed all of the weird issues that we have in terms of mixing, we don't really need to mix anything else. We can just leave everything as is. It was just mainly the sample screwing up the 808. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and start the leveling process. So we did mixing, now we're gonna level. All right, so we're gonna start off with our melody, and we're gonna see what sounds right. Typically for my melody, I like to keep it between -12 and -6. So let's see what we can get. All right, it's perfect at -3.2. It's just about going over almost going over -6. So that means this is in the perfect position. All right, now we're gonna bring in our Z808. We're gonna make sure everything is set to mono. Turn on the 808, and let's see what sounds best for the 808. Now we're going to bring in the clap. Again, mono the clap. Okay, now we're gonna go to the hi-hats, mono the claps, turn the hi-hats on, turn it up to what you feel is best. Alright, so that is the mixing, the leveling, and we already mastered the track because we put a Fruity Soft Clipper on in the beginning. So that takes care of mixing, leveling, and mastering. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and split by channel. And now we'll just split up all the sounds kind of like this. Alright, and then we're going to cut up the sample because there are two sections to the sample. So we got the section with the flute in combination with the piano in the background, and then we just have the piano. Alright, so we got two sections. So what I like to do is I like to go here to this split tool. We're going to go ahead and split that. Alright, so now that we have two different loops to work off of from the same loop. Alright, so we'll bring the sounds back in and we'll go ahead and start to structure out the beat and arrange it the way we want it. Alright. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we're going to let that verse kick in a little bit, and then the 808s will come in. Okay, so now we're creating an automation clip so we can fade the beat out. Alright, we're going to go ahead, put the point here, starting at the beginning of this loop here, and then we're going to drag this down. We're going to add 25% fade out. Okay, get 25, yep. Okay, and then we'll just add a little bit of beat silence right there. Alright, make sure this is 79. And this is 79. Alright, and we're going to drop the master track down a little bit because we need to add in our Young Kartz official tag. Yeah! And we'll go ahead and tag. Use the tag preset. And now let's make sure our tag sounds good. Alright, so our melody, or our sample's a little bit too loud, so I'm going to turn it down by a decibel so I can hear my Young Kartz tag. Alright, so now I can hear it a little bit better. Alright, so now the beat is all structured out. It's all arranged. It's all mixed, leveled, mastered. Got my Young Kartz tag in there. Everything's done. And we even got a nice little fade out effect here. Yeah, let's go ahead and play the beat. So that is how you make a Playboi Carti type beat in FL Studio. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button, be sure to subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, don't forget to check out my Halo loop kit, which is in the link down below in the description. And all I have to say now is thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.